Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Moorish West Educational Network. Moorish Midwest Educational Network. Today is Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. This is first of many sessions. This will be held every first and third Wednesday of the month, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today's topic is how the United States Constitution maintains discovery, conquest, subjugation, and colonization. Once again, how the United States Constitution maintains discovery, conquest, subjugation, and colonization. All right, so we'll go to the next slide. The Moorish Midwest Educational Network. The Moorish Midwest Educational Network is a system of, if you read this, you want to read it?
Yeah. The Moorish Midwest Educational Network is a system of interconnected study groups, community organizations, and individuals in the Midwest fostering cooperative learning, community outreach, and network to bring about positive political, economical, social, and cultural developments.
And then you'll read the next slide. You'll read a few.
So, summary. This study lesson will help guide the Moors/blackamoors/blackamoors/blacks in analyzing and addressing the continued European discovery, conquest, subjugation, and colonization of our lands by the United States, and how the 14th Amendment is being used to maintain our subjugation and international law, our subjugation and international law application known as the acquisition of nationality through subjugation and cession. Next.
And this is for law, which is fine.
So the phrase in the United States, used in a geographic sense came about through the various land boundary cession treaties, whereby Great Britain, Spain, France, and United States of Mexico transferred their territorial sovereignty over our lands to the United States through cession treaties. The cession treaties are land titles in international law. This is a continuation of European conquest, subjugation, colonization of our lands, and the continued subjugation of our people. Article 4, Section 3 of the United States Constitution is how our land is managed under the authority of the United States Congress. All right, so this is the Moorish Midwest Educational Network. Point of contact, myself, Yisrael Bey. You can reach me at 859-979-0041 or via email, kentatinmers7@gmail.com. Another point of contact is Brother Abdullah El Talib Mosey Bey, and his phone number, 215-300-5471. You can reach him via email at etymologyvocabulary@gmail.com. The administrative assistant, Amanda Siegel. So facilitating study groups in 10 major cities. That's the mission. We're facilitating study groups in 10 major cities. The value of proper education, a major help and resource for our people. Again, the value of proper education is a major help and resource for our people. The 10 major cities in which we will be facilitating the study groups are Lexington, Louisville, Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Indianapolis, St. Louis, and Chicago. The Moorish Midwest Educational Network study sessions every first and third Wednesday of the month from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on Zoom. The start date today, Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. So Moorish Governance, Birthright, and Nationality Claim Conference, May 18th, 2024 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A political mechanism of restoring the domestic and international politics to protect and secure the common good of our people, both conscious and unconscious Moors, to serve as the caretaker and voice and the voice for them among the family of nations. The May 18th Moorish Political Unity Conference and the proposal of the plan for the establishment of the Moorish Imperial Parliament Council through the Treaty of Liberty as an agreement uniting various Moorish body politics into an intergovernment alliance. Preparing the Moors to run government through jurisprudence/legal philosophy, rule of law, due process, and constitutional self-governance. So this is a case, Johnson and Graham's Lacey versus McIntosh, decided February 28, 2025. Facts of the case. In 1775, Thomas Johnson and other British citizens purchased land in Virginia from members of the Pankashaw Indian tribe under a 1763 proclamation by the King of England. When he died, Thomas Johnson left this land to his heirs. In 1818, William McIntosh purchased from Congress 11,000 acres of the land originally purchased by Johnson. Johnson's heirs sued McIntosh in the United States District Court to recover the land, ruling that Pankashaw tribe did not have the right to convey the land. The federal district court held that Johnson's initial purchase and the chain of title stemming from it were invalid. So the question, can a Native American tribe convey land to individuals?
All right, so let me explain this here.
Mm-hmm.
You have what's known as the continuation of discovery, conquest. So this Johnson case is clear that the discovery into Catera March 25th, 1493, initiated by Pope Alexander VI, is alive well in the case. So this is and they'll mean this and as a main part of this case, the discovery aspect. And so the aspect of the concept of discovery, just the element of conquest, is that, and I'll mention in this case here, is that they'll say the Native Americans were only considered as inhabitants, but had no right to ownership. Now that's under discovery, though. That's under discovery. All right, the Europeans are maintaining their position of discovery, but the key is the United States. This is the United States case. The problem is that the United States is continuing the discovery, the conquest, and the subjugation. That's the point here. That's the days to keep in mind. When the conversation of colonization comes up, there's no association with colonization with the United States. That is how it's been misrepresented in the schools. Europeans, conscious more, unconscious more, when they're discussing colonization, they associate that with England, the Dutch, Portugal, France, but never United States. So the misrepresentation on how taught schools as colonization ended when the United States defeated Great Britain during the Revolutionary War. Colonization is no more. The United States defeated Great Britain and therefore ended colonization. If you were to talk to anyone that Europeans, conscious or unconscious, that is prevail concept.
Phone skipping a little bit, brother.
What happened?
So your phone skipping. It's in and out a little bit.
My phone skipping. Oh, what about now?
Sounds clear now.
It's clear now. All right. So that is the misconceptions that is the colonization has ended. And so this case here, do you have the section of the case, Israel, that mentions discovery? They have to see that. They have to see. If not, look at what that mentions discovery. That what presented, it does have the information about discovery. Though. I want them to. They have to see discovery.
All right.
So go to what I sent you about the case. What I sent you about the case has that, because they need to see that this case is about discovery. It the main of this, because the case is based on that. The basis of the ruling was that it's discovery, and based on discovery, the native people have no right, cannot own their land. They have to see that. They have to see that language to show that the United States is maintaining discovery, conquest, and subjugation. This is a major case. Do you see there? I need them to see that, because that's the whole basis.
I'm gonna make it. Yeah, I'm gonna make it visible.
All right. This is the whole basis of this presentation. All right. So anyone have any questions? It's kind of hard. You have to see that language of discovery. If you look up this, you'll see that is the main part of the case. This is just part of some facts that leads up that, but this doesn't give us that.
I have a question.
The key is, what is the whole basis of the case? What is the basis of it? It's discovery. What is the whole basis of the Supreme? What is the basis of the United States Supreme Court ruling? What were they standing on? What was the United States Supreme Court ruling standing on? Discovery.
Discovery, the original foundation of titles to land on the American continent as between the different European nations by whom conquests and settlements were made here.
There you go. Read that again. That's it right there. That's it. We read that. Yeah, there we go.
All right.
That we need that. The other part.
I did put it in the chat. The page you sent me earlier.
Yeah, that's it. The page I sent you earlier.
All right.
because
Title of the lands under a
those
title.
those details doesn't get to the heart of, doesn't to what the basis of the United States Supreme Court decision.
Is this what you're talking about right here? What's on the screen now? This
I see
one.
discovery.
And there was another one as well.
Yeah, that's different than the one he put into the chat.
This is the other one.
The one that he put into the chat was under overview.
This is the
not
overview right here.
It may have been higher up. It was right at the top under the syllabus, right at the beginning.
Instrument, yes, soil. All right to claim a soil's jurisdiction had to deter a tract within as defined. Oh yeah, read this. John. Someone, we have a reader for this?
Start from the beginning.
Yeah, and then there's another one I sent you too. Well, there was 8. Was it 8? You read this one.
The one I was
18.
Yeah, the one I was just reading
go
earlier
18
talked
first.
about discovery.
18 first.
All right. Go to the 18 first. Yeah, go to 18. There we go.
Well, no.
All right. Yes.
All right. You want me to take care of that?
Yes.
That on the 5th of October, 1778, the General Assembly of Virginia, having taken by arms the posts of Kaskaskias and Vincent's or St. Vincent from the British forces by whom they were then held, and driven those forces from the country northwest of the Ohio, east of the Mississippi, and west of the Great Miami, did by an act of assembly of that date entitled an act of establishing the county of Illinois, and for the more effectual protection and defense thereof, erect that country with certain other portions of territory within the limits of the state and northwest of the Ohio into a county by the name of the county of Illinois.
All right, go to the next one.
That on the 29th, hold up a second, 29th of December, 1783, state of Virginia, by an act of assembly of the date, authorized their delegates in the Congress of the United States, or such of them, to the number of 3 at least, as should be assembled in Congress on behalf of the state and by proper deeds or instruments in writing under their hands and seals, to convey, transfer, assign, and make over to the United States in Congress assembled for the benefit of the said states all right, title, and claim, as well of soil as jurisdiction, which Virginia had to the territory or tract of country within her limits, as defined and prescribed by letters patent of May 23rd, 1609, and lying to the northwest of the Ohio, subject to certain limitations and conditions in the act prescribed and specified, and that on the 1st of March, 1784, Thomas Jefferson, Samuel Hardy, Arthur Lee,
All right. Let me give you the historical background. So this is it. This is what this part of what I'm speaking about. But now this is the history that led to the drafting Article 4, Section 3 of the United States Constitution. This is the background history. I'm gonna go further back. I'm gonna go further back and link to this, right? But this is this case here with this right here. I'm showing here once again the United States Constitution as a continuation of discovery, conquest, subjugation of our land. Keep that in mind. You got that's major. That's today's topic. I'm gonna keep bringing that back. I gotta bring it back full circle. This is finding a fact to support the claim that the United States Constitution is the continuing discovery, conquest, and Colonization. Article 4, Section 3 of the United States Constitution is like this: the history that led to drafting. Now let me go back. We look at the Northwest Territory. The Northwest Territory, part of Minnesota, Michigan, all of Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, and Wisconsin, was designated as Northwest Territory. That was conquered by France. France conquered and set up colonies in the Northwest Territory, Canada, the Louisiana Territory, and the Northwest Territory in the 1600s. And the 1763, 1754, 1763, you have what is known as the French and Indian War. Great Britain defeated France. Now, the year before, 1762, France they one cede Louisiana to Great Britain. So the year before, the treaty between France and Great Britain, France ceded Louisiana territory to Spain.
You lagging real bad, Abdullah.
Ah, man. Let me go out. This review it. Let me go out and come back in.
Does
Salam.
anybody have any questions? Shalom, shalom. Anybody have any questions?
Not so far.
Yeah, United States Constitution is a continuation of European colonial conquest, colonization, subjugation of us Moors. Like I said, the proof is the land was never transferred back to Aboriginal Moors. We can see that the land was transferred from different colonial powers. Spain, France, England. My sound, is everything good with it? Is it cutting in and out?
It's great.
All
Your
right.
sound is
Sounds
good.
good.
You're
Okay.
good.
So yeah, those
So
treaties
by
he was
them
mentioning.
not returning it back to the original Moors, ain't that a breach of contract?
No, that's proof of the continuation of European colonization and conquest of Moorish lands and the subjugation, keeping us under subjugation. And how they're keeping us under subjugation is by way of the 14th Amendment.
Yes.
So yeah. So if anyone says, because most people think the colonial time is over, colonization ended, but there's proof that it didn't end. It hasn't ended.
Correct.
Yeah, on one side you got the treaty that's, I think the Treaty of Peace and Friendship is supposed to it supposedly backs the United States for having or condoning slavery or condone slavery, but at the other side you got the international courts that say it's time to decolonize. That case that y'all brought up, it almost sounds as if, from what Abdullah was saying, that that case right there, like the case, like the Constitution isn't neutral. It's really supposed to protect us, but it's being used to attack us when that's supposed to be dead already.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we have to show people there's a continuation of the colonization snap into reality, because the The wrong concepts, misconceptions, yeah, it's leading us the wrong way. So we have to come with the correct concepts. We can't look at what so-and-so said, so-and-so said. That's why we're going to be presenting the finding of facts. You can check the finding of facts. If you still feel you need to challenge that, go to the source of that.
Right.
Well,
Right.
what's the challenge? But it's fine. What's the challenge?
Oh, and I was just letting them know, we're gonna be presenting the finding of facts. So if anyone wanted to challenge anything, they would have to challenge those facts, Not
Absolutely.
necessarily.
Yeah. Which most people won't be able to do because they'll result to what so and so said.
Mhm.
They'll go because we're getting that. We're getting that. I post this on Facebook. It's
Yeah.
stone. It's all right. Juali said. So if we present this fact, we'll have people say, Juali said that this is our constitution. Juali
Mhm.
said, support the constitution. Whatever fact we present, all right. It's no different than the church. There's no different.
Right.
It's belief. It's no different. I'm talking about that mindset. So whatever facts we present, they're going to dismiss the facts on the basis that Juali. That's the only basis they're going to dismiss the facts that Juali said.
Right.
Now you can see why we haven't gotten anywhere.
Yeah.
I know this is sensitive, but all right. Do y'all care about your children?
Absolutely.
Do y'all care
Yep.
about your children? I don't care that this is sensitive. That's what I'm asking you.
Absolutely care about my
So,
children.
Do you care about your grandchildren?
Yes.
The great grandchildren, those who aren't born yet, your progeny that aren't born
Yes.
yet.
Indeed.
So we can't care that this is sensitive. So if you put your children, that's why I'm putting the children. Let's put the children first.
Mhm.
Let's put the children first.
Yep.
Let's put our grandchildren first. This is major. We're suffering. We're getting our butts kicked. Abuse after abuse after abuse. So is it about maintaining a position that which you can't support through documentary evidence? Is it about maintaining a position based on blind faith and at the expense of our children? At the expense of our grandchildren? At the expense of our progeny? I'm keeping this real. All right, so this we have to know what time it is, means that we have to know what is the political status of our land. This emotional, they can't do that. This is our land. All right. Is that proper way to address? How do we address it? You have to first know what is the political condition of our land. Why is that important? Because that will direct you to what? The remedy.
Mhm.
All right. I said this to Israel this day. You want to troubleshoot. Why do you troubleshoot a car? Why do people troubleshoot? Why do they put a car on a diagnostics machine? Why would a roofer say, you call somebody, my roof is leaking. But then they don't see they have to, well, we gotta wait till it rains again. So we can see where the leak is coming from. Like, why do they troubleshoot? to see, to determine what the problem is. Why? Because that lets them know what they need to do or what application they need to apply.
Mhm.
So we need to know the condition of our land to know what application to apply. The conscious Moors had not been doing that. They've been saying, and I was one of them for 25 years, that this is our Constitution. We are the drafters of this United States Constitution. We are the founders of this Constitution. 35 Moors at the United States Constitution. We, the people of the United States, are the Moors. We were applying that with no finding of facts now. We were staking a claim based on no finding of facts. Just hear me out, please. At this, no finding of facts. This is major. So we need to know through finding of facts that our land is under continued discovery, conquest, subjugation, transferred in the hands of the United States, managed through the United States Constitution. We need to know that through finding of facts. That's this Supreme Court decision is based on that. So these points here is, so let's continue. So the 1754, and 1763 was this French and Indian War. In 1762, just before the war, just before the treaty between France and Great Britain that ended the war, France ceded the Louisiana Territory to Spain through the Treaty of Fontainebleau. Great Britain, France then ceded Canada and the Northwest Territory to Great Britain in 1763. So now so France is a term in international law that you need to know called territorial sovereignty. That's a major application of law. There are elements of territorial sovereignty. This is major. France transfers the territorial sovereignty of where you are, Northwest Territory, to Great Britain in 1763 through treaty. The treaty is not the application of law. The treaty is the vehicle by which France transfers the territorial sovereignty over our land and where you are, Northwest Territory.
You breaking up, brother. You breaking up a little bit.
Oh my goodness, man! I don't
You
know.
sound you clear on now. You clear on my end.
What about? I mean, what can I have? What about? Can I guess?
You're clear on my end too.
Yeah, you good now.
Can I get all? I need feedback. I need feedback from everybody. Unmute your mics. Everybody unmute your mics. Everybody unmute your mics.
Yes,
You
I
are
can hear
clear.
you fine now.
You're clear, brother. You are clear.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Yeah, that may be someone else's device. But you
Yeah,
are
my
clear,
series.
brother.
Yeah, they're saying that I'm clear. I just need everybody. Yes.
You are clear.
Yeah.
Amanda, am I clear? Regina, I'm clear. Am I clear?
You're clear, Lord.
All right. Good. All right. All right. So, territorial sovereignty. Write that term down. Well, that's an application of that is an international application of law. There are elements, and we'll discuss the elements as we go on. You'll hear that term. You'll hear me say it 1,000 times before the year is out. That is an international application of law that we must come to learn. And the elements. This is at play here. It is at play in this case. They're just not going to say it. It's called territorial sovereignty. The territorial sovereignty, France transfers the territorial sovereignty to Great Britain of the Northwest Territory. So now we're going to go up to now 1778. So we have the Revolutionary War now. The states defeated Great Britain in that area. There were 6 larger states that made claims to it. So Great Britain was defeated and lost control or territorial sovereignty of the Northwest Territory. Virginia was one of the states. Virginia, Massachusetts, was two of the 6 largest states that made claims to the land. This is before the treaty. This is before the treaty, between Great Britain and the United States. This is 1778. This is why Virginia. Why is Virginia mentioned in the case? Because Virginia was one of the largest states that made claims to the territory. Virginia ceded her claims to the federal United States and Congress assembled in 1784. That's why that's mentioned in the case. So Virginia had the territorial sovereignty claim along as 5 other larger states. So those 6 states ceded their claims to the United States and Congress assembled between 1784 and 1780. The treaty made it official. The treaty between Great Britain and the United States in 1783 that ended the Revolutionary War made the claim official. That is in Article 2 of the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty. The survey language of where you are, the Northwest Territory. This is the basis of what we're reading. So the United States Supreme Court decision is based on what? A conquesting claim. Is maintaining what? Conquest, discovery, conquest, and subjugation of our land. So now continuing, so I just want to be clear now. Go ahead, Israel. Do we have any questions or comments?
Yes.
Questions,
So,
comments?
yes, brother. So is that why there is a jurisdiction of the 10 by 10 foreign area in Washington?
No. Since you asked that, no. That's not why. What I said has nothing to do. What I said has nothing to do with that. Let me explain. The Maryland. So now I gotta give background. All right. Article 1 of the 1783 Peace Treaty between Great Britain and the United States. His Britannic Majesty King George III relinquishes the colonies to the 13 states. He relinquishes Virginia colony to Virginia state, Maryland colony to Maryland state, individually. He relinquishes to each of the states individually. The United States veers, all 13 are named in Article 1 of the treaty. I'm answering the question. I gotta give you the background. Maryland and Virginia. Maryland ceded part of the land to the federal government. Virginia ceded part of the land to the federal government. That's where the 10 square miles. Virginia ceded and Maryland ceded. On what basis did Maryland and Virginia cede to the federal government? Because Maryland was what? The territorial sovereignty was transferred in Article 1 of the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty to Maryland, to Virginia, to North Carolina, to South Carolina, to Pennsylvania, to Rhode Island. They were ceded. It was relinquished to them individually. So the federal government did not have the territorial sovereignty over Virginia state. The federal government did not have territorial sovereignty over Maryland state. Maryland state has it. Virginia state has it. Virginia state ceded part of that to the federal government. Maryland ceded part of it. That's how that constitutes the 10 square miles. That's how they got the 10 square miles from Maryland state and Virginia state. But how did Maryland state get it though? How did Virginia state get it? I gave you the answer. Article 1 of the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty. Any questions? Comments? Are you clear?
Yeah, I got a question. I got a comment in the form of a question.
All right, you have a question.
Permission to speak.
Yes, you have a question. Yes.
So my comment was in regards to territorial jurisdiction, meaning in the form of a question, what is commercial jurisdiction or territory? And I wanted to see if you can go into that a little bit, because I keep hearing this word territorial sovereignty, when I know a lot of people probably don't think about it this way, and I just wanted to hear it from you.
All right. Territorial sovereignty is an international application of law. So I'm going to when a state cedes or transfers territorial sovereignty, there are elements. It's transferred through treaty, or if it's not a treaty, in the case of the Kingdom of Hawaii, which is not a treaty, the United States did not acquire territorial sovereignty over the Kingdom of Hawaii through treaty. The Queen didn't sign a treaty. It was done through subjugation. In international law, the application in international law is known as loss of sovereignty, also acquisition of territory. So the acquisition of territory, you have conquest, discovery, conquest, subjugation, and annexation.
Hello?
Yes, you hear me?
Am I the only one here, or did he cut out?
Do you hear me?
I can hear him.
No, I can hear him.
Hello?
I can hear him.
I can
See
hear
him
him.
too.
So I'm not the only
to
one here.
They can hear me, brother.
Okay, I didn't know if I was the only one here or if you cut out. But okay, I agree with everything you just said. It's just, like I said, it was a statement, a comment in the form of a question, because when you said what you said about things being transferred over, like territories, you're talking about the territories. I get to a lot of times I have to remind myself that we're not actually talking about, or maybe we are talking about the fact that they're assuming physical control and sovereignty over the physical estates, when really everything that they do is abstract. Everything that they can control is from that position, that commercial position. So I guess what I'm trying to get us to think about it is, the terms that we're using, like when you say states and when you talk about territories, I want everybody to be able to agree on what we're talking about specifically, because when I think of it, and when I hear you explaining it, I hear everything you're saying, I agree with it, but I know that when it comes to how they operate and function as a government on this land, they're administering control, and control is always from a commercial, admiralty, maritime, or abstract sense. And so I kind of get what you're saying, but I just don't know if we on the same page.
No, we're not on the same page. We're not.
Okay.
All right. So that's all right. So we're not gonna make stuff up. Let's hear me out, please. Everybody, this is for everyone. We're not gonna figure nothing out. There's no figuring nothing out. It's looking it up. The term is called an international law. So we don't figure nothing out. It's called international law studies. Territorial sovereignty is an international application of law. Look it up. Don't figure it out.
I'm not going to disagree with
that.
No.
Hear me out, please.
Okay.
You can't dispute me until you look it up.
Right.
You can't dispute until you first look it up. Look it up. Territorial sovereignty, international law. This is what's at play. International law is at play, not domestic law, not United States domestic law. United States domestic law is not at play. International law is at play. It's known as territorial sovereignty. There are elements. France transfers French territorial sovereignty to the United States through the Louisiana Purchase Treaty in 1803. That's an international law application, territorial sovereignty. There are elements. One of the elements of territorial sovereignty is that the ceding state, the state that's receiving the territory, now gains control of it. Now has sovereignty because there's a transfer of sovereignty of the land to the United States through treaty. Another element is that the inhabitants, if the conditions of the inhabitants is not put in the treaty, it now is up to the United States to determine. That's another element of territorial sovereignty. But the conditions of the French subjects are drafted in the Louisiana Purchase Treaty. It has to be in the treaty. That is an element of territorial sovereignty. This is not United States domestic nothing. This is international law.
I know that, and I'm aware because I know international law, and international law would come into play whenever there's an international human rights violation or some kind of violation of international law.
No, that's
am I incorrect?
No, brother, hear me out, brother. That's in one aspect. You're talking human rights. We're talking, and just follow me, brother. This is for everyone.
Any international law violation, right?
No, brother. I'm going to stay on topic. Let's stay on topic. So I'm not going to answer that. I want to stay on topic. The applicational law is called territorial sovereignty. Let's stay there. Let's not go away somewhere else.
Okay, but
no, Ajib, please, Ajib, please. Please, because I've been doing this a long time. When you go off topic, I want to stay on topic. Stay with the applicational law that's at play called territorial sovereignty. That's what we're talking about. The territorial sovereignty was France transfers territorial sovereignty to the United States. There are elements United States of Mexico transfers territorial sovereignty to the United States through the Treaty of Guadalupe. Spain transfers the territorial sovereignty to the United States to the 1818 Treaty, transfers Florida to the United States in the 1818 Treaty. Great Britain transfers territorial sovereignty to the 13 states through the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty. I'm being very specific because law is specific. We're talking about an applicational law, an international law known as territorial sovereignty. I don't want to go anywhere else. I will not go anywhere else. I've been doing this long enough. When you go all over the place, lesson gets lost. It's important that y'all know what territorial, that is a major applicational law that is at play. We must come to know this and the elements of international law of the territorial sovereignty. We don't want to say, I am not saying international law, period. I'm saying application. Remember, saying international law is not going to help us. That's not that's too broad. We must identify the particular applications of law. Saying international law, that's not, if I say international law all night long, you won't be no further along than you were before the class started. You must identify the particular international application of the law by name. Why? Because by identifying it by name, it gives you what? You'll be able to look it up and then read the elements. This is very important. We can't just say international law. It's not going to help us. It's not. We must identify the particular application of law because that gives us the elements. When you go to territorial sovereignty, you will read the various elements and you will see that United States gains territorial sovereignty, control of the land through that application, as well as control over the inhabitants. And there are other applications, elements of territorial sovereignty. I will not just say international law. You will not hear me just say that. I'm going to state the particular application of law. We're not used to this, which is fine. This is why we're here in this class. This is the class so that you can grow, in particular, understanding how law operates, the operation of law. So we're talking about in this a legal principle known as the operation of law. So how law operates is you must identify the particular application. Saying international law that means nothing. As far as effectuating a claim, you can't effectuate a claim that way. You can't seek a remedy with the saying international law. We must identify the particular application of law. So when I'm giving you how law operates, I want to stay here. I won't go any further. I will identify it by application, not saying international law.
I'm here, brother, and I hear you. I'm listening to you. I'm just like everybody else here trying to figure out what you're saying or trying to figure out this whole get a grasp whatever you're telling me. I don't know how it sounds like, I was getting off of international sovereignty. I thought everything that I was talking about had to do with international law and aspect of international sovereignty. But if there's a point in some of what I was saying that is, not agreeable, I guess I don't know about it because I'm confused in no sense, or well, I don't know about it because to me, I thought I thought I agreed with everything you said. I don't know why it didn't. I don't feel like that was the case for you. But I yield.
All right. Territorial sovereignty is the international application that was transferred to the United States. We have to say that's the term, and that's the international application, and their elements. We can't be broad. We must know how a law operates. All right. So let's continue. This is good.
Yeah.
This course is good because this gave me an opportunity to teach on operation of law and why it's important for us to know how law operates and be specific in identifying the particular application of law. So this will grow us. I appreciate you, brother. Your comments are welcome. Your comments have value because they gave me opportunity for me to be more, to give me more detail and to do review and to make sure that we're clear with specificity on how law operates.
Brother Bay.
Yes, sister.
So when you say law and you break law down, L, would it be for land?
No,
A,
no,
for
no,
here,
no.
here. I'm sorry, brother, but
That's not etymology. That's not etymology. No.
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Those are
No.
acronyms made up. Yeah.
No, sister. That's all right. I hear we going, sister. So no. Look up the etymology of the word law.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We don't want to. All right. You cannot show me through documentary evidence what you're saying to support your claim. You heard that from somebody. You cannot show me sources that what you're saying is so. But what you can show me is the etymology of the word law. You can show me that. Like you can go to a dictionary and show me, you can go to 100 dictionaries. You can go to 100 different dictionaries and show me the etymology of the word law. That I promise you can do that. But you can't give me one source on what you were saying. No, not one. And this is what I was saying on Monday night. That we have to graduate from that. We have to have the finding of facts. You can give me the finding of facts on the etymology of the word law. That it means fixed. Lay. Set. You'll find that in 100 different dictionaries.
Okay, so this is foundation, and you've been talking about international. You've been talking about our land. So let's get to what this is about.
No, that's what we're doing, right, sister? That's what we mean. So let's get to, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
I'm lost. I'm lost. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
We're getting to what this is about.
Okay.
This is the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But Abjeeb.
Yeah.
So let's back up, because you said that implies that we're not getting to what this. But Abjeeb made a comment and asked a question. I was answering and clearing up. We were having a discourse with Brother Abjeeb, Abdullah Al-Mujib. And that's where I was. I was spending time in answering his question and clearing up some of the misconceptions and be clear on how law operates. We are on the topic. And I was clearing up on what we were talking about was the application of law, known in international law as territorial sovereignty. This is what has play. That is a major application of law for us to know, because that is a great point of the subject matter for tonight. That the territorial sovereignty, that France, Spain, United States of Mexico and Great Britain transferred territorial sovereignty through treaty to the United States.
It's the
And
continuation
on
of
that, and the United States makes the claim over the inhabitants and the land. And that's where the United States is used in a that's how the United States has come to be known in a geographical sense. Because what? If you say in the United States, that is tied to United States territorial sovereignty claim. It's not abstract. It's no abstract, it's real. I mean, the control of the land that France conquered. That's real, that's not abstract. France knocked you over your head.
Okay, I gotta
No, let me
interject
finish,
because
bro, please.
I
Brother,
got to because
brother, please let me
let him clear this real quick. Let him make this point real
brother,
quick.
let me finish this, brother. Yes.
It's a major point here.
France knocked us over the head. I mean, conquered us. That's not abstract. They took control of the land. Now, brother, we're not going to do this, brother. We're not going to do this. France took control of the land through conquest. France surveyed under King Louis XIV. They surveyed the land and created a survey map. In international law, under conquest, the survey map functions as a land title under conquest. France, in turn, transfers the territorial sovereignty over the Louisiana Territory to Spain through treaty. We're talking international. The international law is the territorial sovereignty is a vehicle. The treaty is a vehicle by which the territorial sovereignty moves from one conquering state to another conquering state. This is international law. United States came in control of the land by way of treaty. The territorial sovereignty was transferred. Once that's done, now the title is in the hands of the United States through treaty. United States now has territorial sovereignty. Therefore, they have control of the land and the inhabitants. Those are elements of international law. Yes, this is our land. We need to understand. No, we need to know the political conditions of our land. We had not been addressing it from this. This is our Constitution. 35 Moors, but the Constitutional Convention. We're the people of the United States. We were so off. United States is the United States company. United States is a corporation. Like we weren't even the identifying the political state of our land. Our land is under continued discovery, conquest, and subjugation and colonization in the hands of the United States and managed through what? Article 4, Section 3 of the United States Constitution. I'm being very detailed so that we can know, know the current state condition, political conditions of our land, and to know how to address it with specificity. I mean, we're not saying colonization is not good enough. Saying conquest is not good enough. Identifying the particular treaties, the Louisiana Purchase Treaty, by which the United States gained territorial sovereignty. the Guadalupe Treaty between the United States of Mexico and the United States, the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and the United States, the 1818 Treaty between Great Britain, between the United States and Spain, identified the instrument treaty, particular treaty, by which the United States gained territorial sovereignty over various parts of our land. And what are the elements of territorial sovereignty? And that it's managed in the hands of Congress. Let's continue on the slides. Let's go.
Try to
Let's
exit out of
continue.
this.
Yeah, let's get out. So we just continue on some more slides. Because we'll get right. We're gonna get to some of the images.
Hold on, bro. Just trying to work this.
All right, no problem. Any questions? I'll fill some questions. Any questions?
Here we go.
All right. You have it?
So,
Yeah, go ahead. We have a question. Yes.
so in the arguments that have been we have the misconceptions that we have been taught or told about. For all of those treaties gave the United States their territorial sovereignty, and through that sovereignty grant, we were conquered because how do I want to say it? After they got sovereignty, all of the people that were there were subjugated to them. Correct?
Say territorial sovereignty. That's used the term. When France transferred territorial sovereignty to the United States, you would say the term, because you have to get used to that. You have to come to know the term.
Okay.
It's not sovereignty. It's territorial sovereignty.
Gotcha.
Right. Because sovereignty, if you just say sovereignty, it's a different element than territorial sovereignty.
Got it. So when the United States via treaties were given territorial sovereignty, those that were in that particular mass of land were subjected to them. Yes.
Now, under what conditions they were subjected was based on the treaty. Hear me out. In Article 3 of the 1803 Louisiana Purchase Treaty, the conditions of the French subjects are drafted in the treaty. The French subjects will become citizens of the United States. That's drafted in the treaty. That is an element of territorial sovereignty. If the conditions of the inhabitants are drafted in the treaty, then it goes by the treaty. The United States has to force that what's in the treaty. The United States has to treat the conditions of the inhabitants based on what's in the treaty, the language in the treaty. If the conditions of the inhabitants are not written in the treaties, the United States can now determine it. That is an element of territorial sovereignty. So we were handed over. France handed us over to the United States in a subjugated state. And the United States maintained that subjugation. The United States didn't initiate the subjugation. France did. The United States, when territorial sovereignty was transferred, when France transferred the territorial sovereignty to the United States, we went with it. We went with the United States. That's part of the territorial sovereignty application. The inhabitants goes with the transfer. This leads into how do we become subjugated to the jurisdiction of the United States? This is part of getting to it. But you have to come to know these application of law. Otherwise, you wouldn't understand You know, what I'm building you up through application on how law operates, on how international law operates, and the various, and in particularly various application of law and international law. I know this is new to us. I'm aware of that. We got to start somewhere.
Yes, we do. And so when you say application, do you simultaneously flip out application with treaty? That's what I'm trying to understand.
All right. Yeah.
Treaty,
No.
when you use the word treaty, I understand treaties.
No.
When you, okay.
No. The treaty is not the application.
Okay.
The territorial sovereignty is the application. The treaty is the vehicle by which the application is transferred. There are various types of treaties.
But we know they're not supposed to do that. It's been time. It's over. It's supposed to be over with. You know that. They're supposed to decolonize. That was the order from the international courts and world courts. It's time for them to bring it down.
Al-Mujib. It's still going on. I hear what you're saying. I want it ended too. I want it ended 100 years ago. I wanted it gone 100 years ago. It is not. It's still going on. So what do we do about it? I was saying they're not supposed to do that. It's not going to end it. It's not going to end it. How do we end it? I'm down with you, brother. But I'm saying, I was just merely saying they're not supposed to do it. It's not going to bring it to an end. I'm with you, bro. But I want to do something about it. I want to do something. Do something.
Question.
Yes.
So the way to look at this, so from everything that you're explaining, the way to look at this is France gave territorial sovereignty to the U.S. by way of the treaty.
Yes, the Louisiana Purchase Treaty. Yes.
All right. So the conditions of the treaty is that the French subjects will become U.S. citizens.
Yes.
However, those who were conquered are not a part of that on the basis that the U.S. didn't do it by conquering, they got it by treaty. So rather than the U.S. automatically, we're not into servitude for them just because they conquered France, because they didn't conquer us.
No, that's not wrong. That's not the application.
Okay.
You're not stating the application, the elements. You stating part of it, but then you're getting part of it wrong.
Okay, so the element they're using territorial sovereignty to have to gain jurisdiction over our lands. Correct?
Right, but you was talking about our not being conquered by United States, so therefore we're not under. That's not correct. That part's not correct. That part's not correct.
Okay, so they got it through cessation.
Yes. So all right, France conquered us.
Right.
It transfers to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
we transfer over to them because an element of territorial sovereignty. The inhabitant also transfers over. Not only the land and the inhabitants.
Do the inhabitants transfer over in their conquered state?
Yes, if it's not in the treaty. It has to, if the condition is not in the treaty, then the United States can determine our condition.
And they chose to continue colonization.
They chose to continue to subjugate us. Colonization continue. No, you say continue. No, so let's clear that up. Colonization has never ended. France, when France transferred, the only way colonization would end in 1803, if France returned the land to us. Colonization continued because France did not return the land to us, or France what? Ceded it to the United States. Hence the continuation of colonization. It's now what? So it went from French colonization or French territorial sovereignty control to now United States. It just went from one power. I mean, the United States is not a conquering power. So it went from a conquering power, all right, to a power who now is receiving stolen goods. The United States received stolen goods from Spain. The United States received conquering stolen goods from Great Britain. The United States received conquering stolen goods from France. The United States didn't steal it. France did. Great Britain did. Spain did. France gave the stolen goods to the United States through treaty. That is known, and the element known as territorial sovereignty. The elements. So the land, control of the land is transferred to the United States as well as the inhabitants.
Question.
But yes, this is good. Please,
all right. So we getting somewhere. You telling everybody that you got all these interested parties, during this whole transfer of ownership from one party to the next. And now my question, it just begs the question as to, what are we gonna do about actually getting what we supposed to get, our get back?
This is why you're in this class, brother. Brother, this is why you're here.
Mm-hmm. Got to learn how to get.
Brother, I tell you what. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. We holding this class. We have the Moorish Midwest, the Moorish Midwest Educational Network, which comprises of 10 cities, which will grow into 20 cities. We're doing this in an organized, strategic setting. This is not the only outreach we have. I got contacts. We got New York and Westford, but I'm saying for this is the Moorish Midwest Educational Network. We have more than those who are on here. They're just not on here tonight. It'll continue to grow. We're building the structure for it to grow. This is the educational. We have the Telegram page. We have the structured Zoom class, which you're on tonight, every first and third Wednesday of the month. This will be uploaded on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page, and also be posted on the Telegram page. This will be made public. So we have the structure for it to grow.
Mm-hmm.
This is the doing. Education of proper concepts. We've been inundated with so much misconceptions and so much improper concepts. Do what? With misconceptions? With improper concepts? Help me out, bro. I tell you what. You tell me what to do.
Well, no, that's not why I'm
I'm gonna
here.
tell you what.
I'm
You tell
hearing
me what to
you.
do. You tell me what to do.
No, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you out, brother. I think I think we got a good platform and a nice turnout of people who are conscious to a degree enough to where uh things that matter, things that need to be done. You have individual uh groups and people within this particular meeting that are motivated and willing to do the work. And so I don't think this could have came fast enough for me because I was in the shadows trying to put something like this together. So I appreciate what you do and what you're saying, brother, because from the different walks on this path to bringing the resurgence of the Moorish nation back, to strengthen the unity within our political and social economic um, benefits or well-being or whatever. You got a lot, specifically when it comes to law, especially when it comes to law, because I hear so many Moors, they have a lot of different approaches, and some have more a lot of different, some have good outcomes, some more than others, and all I know is I listen and I try to take in what I like about what is being presented. For example, I listened to what you say today, and you brought up a lot of stuff that I didn't know, like specifically like how all the different nations had a part in the subjugation of the Moorish nation, and how things were changing over. There's a lot of hands exchanging different promises or goods, whatever, for the benefit of one people. And we talking about human beings at the expense of other human beings and life and blood and sweat, and it's perpetuated with not just this aspect of what you call international sovereignty. We have also a lot of different intricate parts that play into the whole corporate game or the whole subjugation of what we have been suffering from over these last few hundred or couple hundred years. This is a plate to me. It's like a lot of stuff that I use. you know I could use this. I could make it, and we could make a case if we actually know all the different particulars and the different parties that are essentially, what is the word I want to use for being a part of the subjugation and perpetual subjugation of our people even to this day. So I didn't really want to say much, about what I feel like somebody else should do when I could do what y'all said I should do. Like you got to learn, you got to, because there's a lot of different ways that we can rise up as a people. But I think it's gonna start with individuals who know what to do and who've walked this path and are willing to let their footprint show the rest of the people the way. Because some people are just gonna move faster than others, some people gonna move slower than others. So I think this is a good forum and platform for us to try to dialogue and share what's important to us as a people. I yield.
That's why we created, brother. That's my point exactly.
Education.
That's what I've been saying for the past hour and 35 minutes. I mean, yes, that's the whole point I've been saying. That's why we created the platform, the Telegram page, the network. Any other comments, criticism, or questions? I saw something that y'all went through so fast. Comments, criticism, or questions?
No, I just want to comment, Brother Bay.
Mm-hmm.
The history is needed because we don't understand. We don't even know about treaties. Some of us. I know about a few of the treaties. You mentioned some of them tonight, but we have to understand how it was all one land at one time. Okay, and then we broke up. And then you people come in and want to try to, you know, take over and subjugate and take domain. And we have to learn about this. And I thank you for sharing the history of the treaties. I thank you, brother.
Thank you. Anyone else? Comments, questions, and criticism? I'm open up for criticism too now, you know, so.
Any more confusion?
Ain't nobody coming for you.
All right.
Anyone confused about anything?
Anybody confused about anything? Not confused about anything?
Find it out.
I guess I'm not necessarily confused. I just want to say, you know, again, as far as the misconceptions is concerned, when everybody is saying that, of course, this is our land, but in terms of how the United States stole it, it's great to now know and to see through the evidence that it wasn't necessarily them that initially did the stealing. Like you said, they're just in possession of stolen goods.
Exactly.
Yep.
So when many of the processes that people are putting forward doesn't work, it's because some people may again know the law.
And we have to get out of the individuals into understanding how to operate in government structure and from a national principle perspective. And we'll deal with that later, you know. We'll do that later. We want to continue, Israel?
Yeah. So learn how to challenging the continuation of European discovery, conquest, subjugation, and colonization of Moorish lands as maintained through Article 4, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution.
That means first they have to come to know that it exists.
Yeah.
They have to come to know that how it's and become to know Article 4, Section 3 in the history that led to the drafting of Article 4, Section 3. They have to come to know element international law applications. Hence this lesson for the night.
Yep.
They can't challenge something they don't know.
Right. So how did Moors/blackamoors/blackamoors/blacks become subject to the jurisdiction of the United States?
All right, so let me address that. Not by birth certificates, not by, this is what y'all been taught. I know y'all been taught. Birth certificates, marriage license, driver license. It's nothing you signed. Just please hear me. Once again, why do I'm going back to territorial sovereignty again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go into territorial sovereignty and introduce what? The acquisition and international law application, known as acquisition of nationality through subjugation and cession. Here we go.
Okay.
It's nothing you signed.
Right? Okay.
There's nothing your parents signed.
Right.
There's nothing your grandparents signed. Let me go to Hawaii.
Go there.
The United States invaded Hawaii.
Yes, they did.
In 1893.
Subjugated
Hawaii. That brought about the loss of Hawaiian sovereignty and the dismantling of the Hawaiian kingdom. Remember, at the time of the invasion and subjugation, the subjects and people of Hawaii didn't sign anything for the United States. They didn't sign anything. So it's nothing that they signed. It's called subjugation. Let me continue. All right. So in international law, the native people of Hawaii became citizens of the United States, known in international law application of acquisition of nationality through subjugation. Not in this case, not cession, because the Queen didn't sign a treaty. The application of law, the acquisition of nationality through subjugation. It's first an international application. And now they're brought under the United States legislation of Title VIII. But it's a first an international law application, acquisition of nationality through subjugation. That means they acquire United States citizenship through subjugation. Why that's important to know? It's important to know the condition so that you know the remedy to address. You have to know, you have to troubleshoot the problem, because the troubleshooting is the process that you come to learn what the issue is, and you be able to what? Apply the proper application of law. So we did not become, so hear me out. Let's go back. France transfers us over. So the United States gained what? Control over us through the transfer of the French territorial sovereignty to the United States. United States gained control over us through the Spain transfer of territorial sovereignty to the United States. So it's nothing that we signed. It's not the birth certificate. The 14th Amendment is a result of the international application of law known as acquisition of nationality through subjugation and cession. It doesn't begin with the 14th Amendment. They have to have what? First, the international application applies. Then the 14th Amendment. So we're gonna do a flow chart. So next class we'll have a flow chart for you. And then we're going to the flow chart, the international application, the treaties and the territorial sovereignty control, the acquisition of nationality through subjugation and cession, right? Then we have the 14th Amendment, the flow chart. Then we have the birth certificates. This is important so that we know, how we've been addressing it is Angela's birth certificate, Abdullah's birth certificate, individually. Angela's birth certificate, Regina's birth certificate, Viseria's birth certificate, Carver's birth certificate. We're addressing it individually. We're not addressing, we're not treating, we're not coming from the position as a national body. Our people don't have to be conscious. We can speak for them. We're not speaking as a national body. We're not addressing it from the position of national principles. We're addressing it, Abdullah's birth certificate, Angela's birth certificate, Viseria's birth certificate, Terry's birth certificate, Carver's birth certificate. See that? See it? See that? See the lack of knowledge? A lack of knowledge? We're not addressing it from the perspective of subjugation. We're addressing it as individuals. That my individual birth certificate, Angela's individual birth certificate, Terrence's individual birth certificate, Quasi's individual birth certificate, Viseria's individual birth certificate. See, it's the individual birth certificates, in the individual marriage license, in the individual this, in the individual that. Y'all see where I'm going with this? I know this is new for y'all, which is good, which is fine. That's a good thing. That y'all here. You're gonna grow. You're not gonna learn this in one class. You're not gonna learn this So you're learning new terminology, new applications of law. We're not going to say just international law. That's not good enough. You're not going to hear me say international law, period. You're not. You're not going to hear me say international law, period. I'm going to give you the various international law applications. I will not say international law, period. I will give you the international law application by name so that we'll be able to identify the elements. That's teaching, not international law. That means nothing. International law. International law. That means nothing. That's not how law operates. Or international law. It's a violation of international law. What does that mean? Hold on. A violation of international law. I don't know what that means. That's like, how are you going to bring forth a case? You have to identify the application. That means you don't know how law operates by saying a violation of international law. You have to identify the application. I thank y'all for coming on. I'm not going to lose y'all. Any questions? Comments? Criticism? We ain't going to just say international law. Not here. Y'all going to learn. We want to continue. All right, so we have, we'll go for another 25 minutes. We'll go until 10 after.
The territorial boundaries of the 13 original states were relinquished to them by King George III through the 1783 peace treaty between Great Britain and the United States.
And that's an article, I mentioned this earlier, in Article 1 of that treaty. His Britannic Majesty acknowledges and relinquishes to the United States viz, V-I-Z, in Latin means namely, all 13 are named because he's treating with them individually. So he relinquishes the territorial boundaries that's laid out in the Virginia Colony Charter to Virginia State. He relinquishes the territorial boundaries that's laid out in South Carolina Colony Charter to South Carolina State. He relinquishes the territorial boundaries that laid out in North Carolina Colony Charter to North Carolina State. That's what United States viz all 13 name means. That construction. It wasn't relinquished to the United States. It was relinquished to the various 13 states. Once again, this is why Maryland and Virginia ceded part of the land to the federal government, which makes what now constitutes the 10 square miles, which is part of, and that was ceded through Article 1 to Virginia State and Maryland State. And not to the United States. So the federal government doesn't have claims over it. They didn't have claim over the Northwest Territory. Virginia, the states had to cede it. The states, the 6 largest states that made claims in 1778, or where you are, Northwest Territory, they ceded it from Virginia was the first one in 1784. They had to cede it to the federal government. And this was the basis of what? The Northwest Ordinance and the basis of the 1708 Article 4, Section 3 of the United States Constitution. It's maintained through the Constitution. That doesn't protect us. Tell me how. Tell me how that protects us. I take your land, no problem. I take your land. Remember, the land is everything. The land is everything. The land is everything. Right to travel. Who gives a who know what? Don't you want the land back? You don't want the land? Isn't the land everything? What protection? How? When they controlling the land? What protection when they're controlling the land? Let's get real, my brothers and sisters. Please, let's get real with this. What protection when they are controlling the land? The land is the bloodline of a people. If you take the land from a people, it's the veins, the bloodline of the people. Without that, they have nothing. Let's get real with this. And they're maintaining the control through the United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 3, where they admit new states. Where did Kentucky State, where did the Europeans who petitioned for Kentucky statehood get the land from? Where did the Europeans who petitioned for Kentucky statehood get the land from?
France?
What's that?
France?
Article 4, Section 3 of the United States Constitution. Congress can admit new states. They got it from Congress.
Congress.
Not from France. I say Kentucky State. The Europeans who petitioned for Kentucky State statehood got it from where? Congress. Article 4, Section 3, Clause 2. Congress has the power to dispose of the land. Congress has the power to admit new states. Congress sends a delegation of authority order to the Europeans who petition for Kentucky statehood to what? To what? Establish a constitutional convention. That has to come from Congress. That was settled. That was part of the Northwest Ordinance. That was part of remember, the states made claims on the Northwest Territory. And it was ultimately settled, and where it would be what? Managed in the hands of Congress. And so they drafted the Northwest Ordinance outside of the Constitutional Convention and brought the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 to the Constitutional Convention, and they drafted drafted Article 4, Section 3 from the Northwest Ordinance. This is not our Constitution. I bet you from a hole in the donut that most conscious Moors don't know this. Can't spit it like this. What do these conscious Moors know? Not much. What do they parrot? So they don't know much. The conscious Moors parrot what? This is our Constitution. We're part and parcel. They don't know that. They parrot it. Remember, they don't know it. They parrot it. So the conscious Moors don't know that. They parrot it. So they're clear. So I can't ask what they know. They don't know that. They parrot it. Because you asked them to present. This is what you hear. Present the finding of facts. Juali said, no, present the finding of facts. Juali said, no, present the evidence. Juali said, no, present the documentary evidence. Juali said, no, present the documentary evidence. Juali said, Resist the finding of facts. No, Juali said that's the response.
Yeah. They
Now we
don't
supposed
go
to
into but yeah,
we gonna free our people? With what?
I like it. No.
We gonna free our people what? With that? We gonna free our people? We gonna live? We gonna do what? Tell me, we gonna do what with that? Someone asked you to present the finding of facts, the evidence. You're gonna free. You're gonna do what? You want to advance what with what? We got to get real with this. Once again, do y'all love your children? Do you love your grandchildren? We got to get real with this. This is serious matters we're dealing with. This is serious matter. This is nothing to play with. And we've been playing. We have to have the education. We have to have sessions like this. This is structured, not loose. We have the Telegram page. We have the structured classes scheduled every first and third Wednesday of the month. This will be uploaded on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page and also sent to the Telegram page. It'll also be posted on various Facebooks and Telegram pages and so forth. This will be public. And of course, we have other classes. You know, we go to the Telegram page. You have For the Love of Moors by Sirius. Even Israel has a study group in the Telegram page.
Word step study group.
But we have a Telegram page for the Moorish Midwest Educational Network. So you have your own Telegram page.
Yeah.
You put that in
All right,
the
we're gonna
chat.
go for about 10 more minutes. Questions, comments, criticism.
Could you put the Telegram group in the chat, please?
Yes, someone put the link to join the Telegram page in the chat. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna put the link to join the page. Once you click on that link, you've joined.
Oh, good. I got a comment if I got permission to speak.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
All right. So this statement is directed to I guess how you mentioned that we need to start getting real about stuff. And the thing that I wanted to mention that's real that we have to know about is how to apply the laws which protect us in doing small time stuff like the right to travel in accordance with the laws in the United States before we can have the majority of us petition the world courts for the remedy that you kind of alluding to in an international courts. The United Nations is charged to supervise the United States and act in cases which violate international law, and they are also there as like supervisors of like the local use courts of the United States here. If they're in violation and we went through all the proper channels, there's possibility that we can go to the world courts, but there has to be some kind of violation in the international community documents. For example, like if there's a violation of the Declaration of Human Rights and an act of genocide being committed against a people, and you actually have the people to support you and evidence to support you in your claim for there being a violation of international law, we can actually go to the world courts. Okay, I'm not gonna go all into the details about all the stuff that I heard you.
Let me stop you there, brother.
Okay.
Please give this some time, brother. Give this a chance.
Yeah.
Give this network a chance. Just give it a chance. I hear you, brother. I'm going to respectfully ask you. will you give this Moorish Midwest education network a chance to grow? That's a question I'm asking you.
Yeah, so
I think
like
that's what we good. Then we good. Then we good. Then we good. All
that
right.
was
We move
rhetoric.
on.
You didn't want
No.
to
You said yes. So why? Once you say yes, then we can move on.
Oh no, that was a vocalized pause. I just was
Oh, then I think you say so. Then so it's not yes. You didn't say so. It's not yes. I asked you a question. It's a close-ended question. I asked you a close-ended question, which requires a yes or no. Either
apologies.
no. Let me once again.
I thought this
It's
was an
close-ended. Either
open
yes.
forum.
No.
But
All right.
okay,
What's up?
I'm a yield because I thought this was like an open dialogue. I thought I could. You said if we
No.
have any.
But I want you to answer the question though. Will you give this Moorish Midwest education network a chance to grow? Yes or no?
I'm for education. I'm for the Moors. So I mean, I guess that's your answer.
All right, so yes. All right, good. We can move on. Next question. Somebody else.
Islam, brother, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I would only suggest, you have a lot, I don't know how many, well, I can see how many people on here. I would say it would be better if, because I remember, I used to learn from you. I can't even tell you how many years ago, brother, but if almost like in your editorial works, you streamline your teachings, it'll make way for you just to carry on with the lessons without us having to or without you particularly have to be interrupted, opposed to ones having a question about a particular subject that you're particularly speaking on. It'll streamline the teaching a little bit better, I believe.
Are you saying we should not open up for questions? And I'm asking. I'm not. Then I'm
Oh
because I don't
no, no,
understand
no,
what I
no.
don't.
No, not at all. But I mean, like, I think like it's like I've been here and I wrote down a lot of the stuff, but it's been reiterated, I think, more than needed just because of uh 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 I don't know. I don't like I said, I don't want to necessarily say unnecessarily, but I think just because I don't think no one had uh question. Yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. I like just as listening to you, I heard and I do use the hammer to pound it in, but I would suggest just to streamline the lesson to go from I forgot what the topic was because I did not write that down. I wrote the territorial sovereignty. Basically, like from one point, like we know how they took the territory and how it was seceded by way of the treaties and stuff like that. But like whatever the middle part that we're missing, like I didn't hear that, and that's if it is because I heard that repeated 2 and 3 times because of I don't know, but it didn't seem like it was necessary, and it just seemed like I could have got a lot of more information. So I don't really know how to put that or how to. I'm not trying to get. I'm only saying that you as the teacher maybe can tailor to that. Maybe other students on here have that same concern. It's just like I think in that 2 hours you could have put a lot more information out.
I'm not clearly understanding, but
So
can
yeah, it's
someone help
not
me out?
right now. He's just trying to get proper concepts. It's not really about a lot of information at this
Yeah,
moment.
it's not. Yeah,
More
proper
like so we
concept
can
to
know
take
how
us
to think
along.
about
Yeah,
different.
brother.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
brother, you
understand
be
more.
get, brother. If the proper it's what it is, brother. Is once you understand the proper concepts, like I reason I reiterated territorial sovereignty because that's a major concept for us to come to learn. It's major. It's not because you begin to see how it's going to be interconnected to other areas that we'll move on to, but you have to you have to come to know that major international law, and then we also had the acquisition of nationality through subjugation and cession. So those are two major points. It's not about rushing through a lot of information. I've been doing this long enough and taught so many people. And I don't want y'all just to have a bunch of information. I want you to be solid on the proper concepts. Remember, I have to be patient here because we've been inundated with improper concepts.
Very true. Very true.
I can't just rush it through.
Oh,
And this is from experience. This is from experience. This is from experience.
Right. Or maybe for me,
I have to lean on my experience.
Oh no, and that's what I was speaking of, brother. I was saying from how you were explaining it to me, like literally the first time you explained it with such succinctity for me, and like I said, and that's why I couldn't speak for everybody. That to me, it seemed like you could have put more information because I believe like I said, I've been learning from you for a good while, so some of and it is being brought back to me anew, but I still was able to gather it in such a way where I thought that more could have been added in, but I don't. Like I said, I'm hearing you for sure, so in no way, shape, form, or fashion, I'm not asking to rush it or anything. I'm just saying I got it enough where I was still over here waiting for more. So, that's to me, you're doing a great job, brother.
Yeah, and remember, people learn in different. We have people who are on different levels too, brother.
Yeah,
people
trying to unite.
different,
Exactly.
different Yeah, so you got because you made it clear that you're coming from your perspective. All right. So we have, and I know from my personal experience and teaching that people are on different levels, and so I know at times I have to slow it down, and I don't want to just go through the lesson and then I want to stop and feel where people are. I don't want to speak for an hour and then feel where people are. I want to pause and I want to feel your temperature. I want to give you what's it called, the thermometer, by asking you, pausing a bit, and does anyone have any questions?
Knowing your audience.
I know my audience. I know my audience. I know my audience. Because if I just go on for a whole, as I spoke for a whole hour straight, hold your questions, and I go for a whole hour, because I've done that too. That doesn't work in every situation. It doesn't. So I cannot use that in every situation. Well, I'm going to speak for the first 90 minutes, and then hold your questions. That doesn't work in every situation. So I cannot say I'm always do that. I can't be rigid. I can't be rigid and say I can't. I have to be flexible, and
just letting you know more. I wasn't suggesting that at all. I'm just
no. I know. I got you. I just want to.
Okay.
No, we good. We good. I just want to let you know why I did what I did. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? We'll fill two more questions, and we'll end. Stern, you had your all right? No, Stern.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say some. What I'm noticing about us is we are hyper individual in general. We're hyper individual, so it's kind of hard to adjust to like structure and all of us, because that's kind of part of our culture we adopted, is that we don't want to be told what to do. Not that that's what we're doing here, but we hyper individuals, and we want to do things as the individual, and that's counterproductive to us reestablishing our sovereign capacity as a people and shit. So that's all I want to say.
All right. Last question or comment or criticism? All right. So since there aren't any comments, questions, or criticism, we'll end. This video will be uploaded probably by tomorrow. I'll say tomorrow. Next day or two.
Tonight.
And then we'll put tonight. Terrence said tonight.
Tonight.
Right. It'll be on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page.
There's one hand up, Abdullah.
I want hands up, and then we'll also I'll put it in the Telegram page too tonight. It says you'll have it done tonight. I'll put it in the Telegram page. So the Telegram page. Yeah. Another hand up. Thank you, Amanda. Yes. I kill.
Yeah, Islam.
I just had one question about, let me see, how did it go down? I need to read the document again. I couldn't find it. That's what I was trying to do. Maybe I should save it for another time. But I'll just give you what I was thinking. It was, I think it was George Washington writing a letter to the Sultan of Morocco, Sidi Muhammad. And he was speaking about how it was going to be a peaceful transition. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, but what does have to do with what we're talking about, though?
Of how he, I guess, took over the government from the Moroccan emperor, where now it's part of the United States. Because I think that's what that letter was about. How he wrote to the Moroccan.
No, that's not what that's about. No. All right,
Okay,
hold on. No. So how he took over the government? Who's he took over the government? Who's he?
George Washington wrote the letter to the Moroccan emperor.
You say how he took over. Your claim. You have a claim, though. You have a claim.
How he wrote the letter, tell him that it was going to be a peaceful transition. Meaning that he did it by the pen. It wasn't like a war type thing. I just gotta find a document.
No, you don't have to find nothing, though. You don't have to find it. You don't have to find anything, because I've read it 1,000 times. All right, let me explain. You don't have to find anything.
Okay.
All right. Let me explain.
I'm listening.
He's talking, moving from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution, having nothing to do with the Moors. Moving from the transitioning from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution.
Okay.
Look at the history. A more perfect union. They already had a union. The Declaration of Independence. The Articles of Confederation. The more perfect union, once we get into learn the history that led up to the drafting, the issues that they ensued, and reason why they had to have the Constitutional Convention to create a more perfect union. The disputes they had over the Northwest Territory. The smaller states threatened to walk out of the Constitutional Convention. Because once again, Samuel Chase of Maryland was of the smaller state that didn't make claims to the Northwest Territory. In 1782, suggested that it be managed in the hands of Congress. Virginia was not down with that at the time. In 1782, Virginia was not down with that. Virginia became much larger once Virginia made the claims to the Northwest Territory. Virginia was going to cede, say, we don't put it in the hands of Congress. We're not down with that. We're not down with putting it in the hands of Congress. We're threatening. We're going to threaten to cede. We're going to threaten to leave the Union. So this was major. That would have busted up the Union. This is major. So he's talking about the peaceful transition from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution.
That wasn't our Constitution, though, right?
It is not was. You used was. You used the wrong tense. You used the wrong tense.
Okay, it's there. It was the Constitution that they ratified, that they were.
No, you said it was not. You said though. You said it was not our Constitution. It is not.
It is
not our Constitution.
It is not our Constitution that they transitioned to.
No.
Right.
So
isn't that like them taking over the government, usurping the government?
No. Where's the evidence?
Huh?
No.
So how can they
How can they
move
what?
from, okay. How can they move from the Confederate Constitution, which is supposed to have been the organic Constitution, to, I guess, a de facto Constitution?
That's not a de facto constitution. Who
It
said
wasn't
that?
ordained by, I would say, our ancestors.
Why it has to be? Why does it have to be ordained by ancestors when they have when they have what? All right. See, this is this. All right. Now you see Ajib. You see Ajib. You see what I'm talking about. This is I'm
Well,
gonna
what
stop
happened?
here. No. I'm letting people know of why I slow it down, because we're coming from misconceptions. We're coming from so and so said. You're coming from what Abdullah said prior to 6 years ago. You're coming from so and so said with no documentary evidence. So I know that we're coming from misconceptions. Study the history that led to the drafting of the Articles of Confederation. Study the history that led to the drafting of the Constitutional Convention, the Constitution. Study the history. I'm in there. Study the history.
Wish I heard the
There's
question.
history. There's history that you can study. There's history that you can study on your own that led to, from the Articles of Confederation to and the disputes and issues that they had. That history is available.
Also, Abdullah, you've gone over a lot of this history in some of the previous classes as well. So
Absolutely. Yes, I'll put that. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. We have on the Moroccan Post, thank you, Amanda. Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. I'll put the videos, and the PowerPoints tomorrow, not tonight. I'll put the videos that Amanda's alluding to and the PowerPoints that I have in the videos on the Telegram page. Amanda's correct. Thank you, Amanda.
you're welcome.
I've done it for you already. I've done it. It's done. She's right. What I'm suggesting you do, bro, I've already done for you.
Islam.
All right, so look at the videos, and you also you'll have the entire lesson, the Telegram. You'll have the PowerPoint entire lesson, and the videos. They'll be on there tomorrow. On what Amanda's talking about. It's about 3 or 4 parts, Amanda. And
Yeah, and I also believe just even throughout a lot of the classes as well, that this history applied, and so it was.
Oh yeah, because I've been talking about for so many, but I think there's and particularly the advanced course, the the Moroccan Post School of Government and International Law Advanced Study Group is where I've done a lot of that there with the documentary evidence and information. Yes, I can. I'll put that on the I'll have to. Yeah, I'll put that in the Telegram page tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, it's yes. We're going to end. Did y'all put your I went to the chat and I don't see if I put where you are. I don't see people's posting. I'm snap shooting.
It may
But y'all can end it.
that may be because you went out and had to come back in, so it got rid of the previous.
That's how that works. Oh wow. All right. I snapshot everybody here. All right, so we have attendance. All right, I got the attendance here, and I'll write. Yeah. All right. We're gonna end. I will see you in 2 weeks, the third week of the third Wednesday of this month, and this will be available tonight. Thank you, everyone.
That'll be
Peace.
19th. See you on the
Peace,
19th.
peace, peace. Appreciate everyone.
Grand Rising.
Peace.
Peace, everyone.
Peace, everyone.
Peace.
Welcome to Sonic. My name is Gabriel. How you doing today?
Peace and love.
Peace and love. You can end the recording.